Good morning. All right. This is, oh, hold on. Can you hear that? I don't know. Why was I holding on to the headphones? Okay. Boy, it's going to take some getting used to this life. All right. Anyway, good morning. It is December 1st, 2024. Let me see if I can move this. So I tried out video recording yesterday as part of my vocal journal. Why not? Actually, I found it very helpful to be able to see my mouth on my screen and record that way. I'm using OBS software. How do I make this bigger? Can I make this bigger? I don't know. I found it very helpful to see my face, see my mouth, see what it looked like and what I was doing. So I think I'm going to try and continue with the video portion of this. But the internal camera in my MacBook, not the greatest in terms of resolution. I mean, smoothed out my wrinkles, that's for sure. But other than that, I just didn't like the way that it looked. It was very blurry and fuzzy, pixelated looking. So I did some research because that's what I do. And now I'm shooting the video through my iPhone SE that is literally wired into my computer because it is 2024 and I'm using an iPhone SE. Yeah. So connecting it Bluetooth. Apparently now there's this new camera continuity thing for connecting your iPhone to your Mac, but only if it's a newer iPhone. And it was really hard to plow through website after website after website on the search results for how to use an iPhone SE as a secondary camera input for OBS. Like, it was just like, use the continuity camera feature. And I was like, no, not gonna work. Turns out it's really stinking easy though. All I had to do was plug the iPhone into my MacBook, and then the two are talking to each other, and here we are recording. I have my coffee, and I also have my water. I tell you what though, trying to be mindful about hydrating better and drinking more water, coupled with drinking more coffee than I should, really gives my kidneys a workout, that's for sure. All right, so anyway, let's get on it. Happy December 1st, 2024. It is, it's 10 a.m. exactly in the morning. My eldest child is out of the house, dog sitting for a friend right now. My youngest is off, I think, distracting himself with Elden Ring, and I don't know what the spouse is up to. This is our office space. This is a shared space. I am recording the raw audio of all of these as I'm doing my warm-ups because I want to also document the transition of working just in this room, which is a very echoey, although there is a lot of stuff in this room, and I've heard that that does help with acoustics to break stuff up, but it's still super echoey. I can hear it. I'm sure you can hear it. But I'm super early in my journey on this like voice thing, and the first and foremost and most important takeaway that I've gotten is like, forget about your recording studio situation. Work on your instrument first. Improve your ability to play your instrument before you worry about doing it in an environment that will make it sound. You know what I'm trying to say. Work on your voice. So, independent of the audio situation in this room, I am really trying to work on my voice. Cutting through the echo sounds probably is going to slow me down. Will I make as much forward progress as quickly? In a room where I'm sounding like I currently am to myself, I am sure that if I do daily vocal exercises and warm ups and breathing and all of that stuff, even if I do it in this crappy sounding room, if I do it every day, I'm bound to improve, right? And that's the point. Like, why wait? I can't wait until the situation is perfect. I don't have money to buy a sound booth. I don't really have money to build a sound booth, although my wonderful husband and I are going to attempt a project. You'll see. But what we did purchase for it was pretty cheap. We bought 50 of these. These are 1 foot by 1 foot. There we go. 1 foot by 1 foot sound baffling, I guess is what we will call it. And here's the cross section. Now, we got these off Amazon, and it said it was a foot by an inch. Now, I'm gonna guess that the inch is like from the bottom. The absolute tip of one of these is going to be the inch. We ordered a 50 pack of these. Now you can see, not even. The instructions say you're supposed to unpack them and let them fluff up for 24 to 48 hours. And they've been fluffing up for about 14 hours. So they've got a ways to go. We'll see if they fluff any better than this. Let me hold on. I am not trying to make fun of somebody that I watch on the internet, by the way. I watch a guy who works in a tape measure into like almost every single recording that he does. I enjoy him very much, but I am not doing this to try and mock that. I'm measuring this. Okay, so right now, after 14 hours, it's almost an inch. It's not quite an inch. And it's fluffing very unevenly. There are 50 of these out on our porch that are slowly fluffing. Some of them look like this one. Some of them still look incredibly vacuum sealed. We got this 50 pack and it was like this thick of 50 of these things. So imagine they were vacuum sealed. I am not convinced that they're gonna fluff up well. We don't need all 50 for this like idea that we've got. And just feeling the quality of this. This is really lightweight, porous material. If this actually does something, I will be very surprised. Very pleasantly surprised, but very surprised. All right, what else is going on? I'm going back to school tomorrow and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm just going to say that. My eldest has a cold and I think he's given it to me. Although I am a teacher, a veteran teacher, many years of teaching. Don't worry about how many. I think I have a pretty remarkable immune system because of that. So, not that I don't ever get sick, but I think that my immune system has seen so many different pathogens at this point that like a new one comes in and it's like, I kind of recognize you. We're going to have a partial reaction. So I do get sick, but I don't seem to get quite as sick for as long as some other people do. We'll see how this plays out. And again, because I have no idea what I'm doing, I don't know if, like, I don't know, when you get a chest cold, are you supposed to stop doing your daily vocal warm-ups and practices and exercises? I don't know. I don't feel sick enough to not, though. All right, so anyway, let's get to it then. Okay. 1 minute neck and shoulder rolls, trying to also focus on my breath at the same time. Oh, I'm sitting in a kneeling chair too, by the way, just so you're aware. Still some neck pain. Oh, still worse on this side. Really wish I knew what was causing this so that I could stop it. I can hear a car going by. There's another one. Ooh, headphones are falling off. Um, there was like no neck crinkles in there. What is that all about? That's like a very reliable feature of my life. My neck crinkles. Where'd they go? Maybe it's the water I've been drinking. Maybe it's the fact that every single day, for including today, the past 4 days, I've actually done neck rolls and things. Who knows? Okay. Just having cheeks and gums. Trying to remember to maintain good posture and a soft belly. brow, right side of my face. Uncomfortable doing this. Oh my god. Why is it? Whoa. Ah, ah. Soreness. Right in here. Okay, that was really unexpected. Oh my god, that is so sore right there. It's definitely, oh, it's definitely a jaw muscle. Okay. I hope I don't hurt myself doing this. Embarking on this project. Can you imagine if I injured myself doing daily vocal warm-ups? Gum chewing. I bet that's what did it, the gum chewing. Bet that looked interesting. Humming. Okay, humming. What is going on with my camera right now? Nothing is going on with my camera right now. You probably can't even hear me doing this. I'm going to move my mic closer. Just hold it here. I can't really get that note. Can't hit that low note. This note creates a lot of good resonant vibrations in my chest. I wonder what this note is. I'm sure that whatever note it is, it's sharp or flat. Is it true that a sharp note is also another note's flat note? I should know that. I played musical instruments when I was a kid growing up. I did once upon a time know how to read sheet music, but now I don't. This is as low as I can go. Soft, resonant humming complete. Sip of coffee. Sip of water. Lip trills through a range of pitches. Ran out of it. Wish I knew why doing this made it easier to do lip trills. You need a good breath of air, though, to power these lip trills, let me tell you. My first one or two are always good, and then they just like peter out, and all of a sudden I can't do them anymore. I'm sure there's an explanation. I just don't know what it is. Tongue trills. Do them voiced and unvoiced. That's it. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, let's see. What am I doing? Oh, tongue warm-ups. What you can't see is like my whole body is like straining as I concentrate on trying to like fully extend my tongue and work the muscle. Oh my goodness. Like I became aware that like my fingers in my lap were locked while I was trying to do that. Oh, I have an incoming phone call. I'm going to say no on that. No, that's Walgreens. I'm however going to pause this. All right. Is it still recording? There we go. It's still recording. Great. All right. I had to take a little potty break. Don't mind me. All right. Don't know why I felt the need to share that with the non-existent audience. It's fun to pretend, though, that there's an audience. Talk to the camera as if there was an audience. The audience is me. Okay, let's see. I did those. Oh, yeah, tongue twisters. Here we go. Can you hear that? For P's, R's, and L's. Sorry. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Okay. I have to just pause and say that, like, I can already hear and feel a difference between being able to read that today versus 4 days ago. 3 days ago, if I'm not counting, like, this is my 4th time doing this, and already I can actually feel and hear a difference. But I also feel like that's the easiest of the tongue twisters. All right. To improve differentiation between similar sounding words. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the bit of butter... Let's start over, because it's my fave. I gotta do it justice. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the bit of butter Betty bought was bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So Betty bought a better bit of butter. I do feel like I can try to speak a little bit more clearly on the non-B words in this. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the bit of butter Betty bought was bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So Betty bought a bit of better butter. A better bit of butter. I also feel like it's pulling itself back into my nasal passages. Let's see if I can keep my palate down while I do this. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the bit of butter Betty bought was bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So Betty bought a bit of better butter. A better bit of butter. I'm going to stay with this one for a second. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the bit of butter Betty bought was bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So Betty bought a better bit of butter. I tried to really think about keeping my mouth relaxed while I was doing that. It will be interesting to hear how it translates. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the bit of Betty bought a bit of butter, but the bit of butter Betty bought was bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter, but a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So Betty bought a better bit of butter. Butter. I think my words die on the end. Butter. A bit of better butter. A better bit of butter. Bit of better butter. Better bit of butter. Sip of coffee. Chase it with some water. She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. Slowing it down. She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. Really trying to exaggerate my mouth shapes when I did that last one. Let's just try doing it quick and see if I can get through it. She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. Which wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches? 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 To improve on L's and R's. A really leery Larry rolls readily to the road. A really leery Larry rolls readily to the road. A really leery Larry rolls readily to the road. A really leery Larry rolls readily to the road. A really leery Larry rolls readily to the road. A really leery Larry rolls readily to the road. Again, I'm really trying to use my mouth and move my mouth around. Focus on the digraphs, blends, and the short O sounds for a solid mouth sibilance and sibilance workout. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison, with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison, with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block. Getting faster. All right. To practice the soft sound produced by G, try close to the mic. Eventually. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie. And now, close to the mic and softly spoken. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie. Back you go, Blue Yeti. Yes, I am recording this through a Blue Yeti microphone. All of these are being recorded through a Blue Yeti microphone with my headphones plugged directly into the bottom of the microphone. To work on the TH sounds. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday. I was really trying to like push air through that moment of making the TH sound. So you make it like a short TH, or you can sort of really push through it. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday. 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday. To work on the S sounds and reducing sibilant hissing. I did look up a video on this. I looked up a couple of videos. One of them was like, the lady was like, don't sit so close to the mic, and, you know, maybe go and talk to your dentist or your orthodontist, because maybe it's just the shape of your mouth. That's not helpful, lady. But my younger British guy, whose name I swear to God someday I will actually learn, along with old British guy. I will learn their names, I promise. He had one that I started watching, and maybe I didn't finish that video. Life gets busy. Who knows? All right, anyway. I'm almost out of water. It's okay, this is the last one. Surely Sylvia swims, shrieked Sammy, surprised. Someone should show Sylvia some strokes, so she shall not sink. Surely Sylvia swims, shrieked Sammy, surprised. Someone should show Sylvia some strokes, so she shall not sink. Surely Sylvia swims, shrieked Sammy, surprised. Someone should show Sylvia some strokes, so she shall not sink. Surely Sylvia swims, shrieked Sammy, surprised. Someone should show Sylvia some strokes, so she shall not sink. Surely Sylvia swims, shrieked Sammy, surprised. Someone should show Sylvia some strokes, so she shall not sink. I cannot believe like the essy hissing sound in my ears right now while I'm doing this. It's kind of making me crazy. Surely Sylvia swims, shrieked Sammy, surprised. Someone should show Sylvia some strokes, so she shall not sink. Again, it's like with the first one, I cannot believe how much easier it is for me to navigate these tongue twisters. I mean, some of them are work in progress, but like there are a couple of them that like I feel the difference already. And this is only the 4th day of doing this. It's pretty incredible. I'm really actually quite glad that I'm trying this out, right? Like, if voiceover is a thing, this is step 1, is just like doing some daily practice, learning how to play the instrument, I guess you would say. I am going to do one more of this last one that I was doing. Surely Sylvia swims, shrieked Sammy, surprised. Someone should show Sylvia some strokes, so she shall not sink. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna be done. I think I am giving my like face and jaw muscles a true workout because of how sore it is on this side. Oh my god. Right? Oh, there it is. Oh yeah. Oh, now it feels sore on the other side. Now it feels sore on this side. Was it this side beforehand? I don't remember. It must have been on this side. So, I mean, if I imagine voice actors probably have some pretty strong jaw muscles. So this is my gym workout for the day. All right, that's it. That's all you get. Have a good one.